Depression and oppression are two different things. First, I'm going to talk about depression. Depression comes usually when someone loses interest in something. For example, if you go to work every day and you start to lose interest at work, or you usually hang out with your friends and you stop hanging out with your friends. You usually call your relatives or visit your relatives often, and you stop visiting your relatives and start coming more to yourself. These could be the signs of depression. Depression, most people don't even know that they have depression because it gives no warning. Sometimes others may tell us that we look sad, or tell us, you're not acting the way I'm used to seeing you act. You're acting different. What's wrong? What's the problem? We need to take those things in consideration and consult a doctor to start us feeling better about ourselves and start to engage us with the things that we once had interest, to retain that interest again. Sometimes we are in denial. We don't want to say that we are depressed because we don't want nobody to know that we are depressed, because if we tell somebody we're depressed, somebody may think we're crazy. So we'll stay in denial, but won't confess it. But the longer you put it off, the more serious your depression becomes, because now you're walking around with untreated depression, and that's dangerous. Untreated depression can turn to a major depression, which can cause you to have chronic illness, which can take you right off your work. You won't be able to work no more. And you know, without work it's hard to survive. So we need to work to survive, and we need to keep that in mind. So if you're suffering depression, people have been telling you you're suffering depression, it's time for you to consult a doctor. Now, if you wait too long and it turns chronic, then you have another problem. Because now you may have to be placed in the hospital. And we don't know how long you'll be in the hospital before you can gain conscious of reality. What I'm trying to say, if you catch it early enough, sometimes they can treat your depression and you can snap at it in 2 weeks. But if you don't detect it early enough, it can cost you a lifetime of suffering and fighting depression. If you go into a chronic state of depression, you're going to lose your energy. That means that you're not going to be able to do the things that you used to do, even if you want to do it, because you're not going to have the energy to do it. And then another thing with depression, you're going to not only lose energy, you're not going to be able to perform on no type of job, because you're going to get tired too fast. Don't you know when you lose energy, it makes you tired? You can't do it, and you cannot force yourself to do it, because your body, the first beginning, is not going to even allow you to force yourself, because you can't. I'm telling you, simple as this, you cannot force yourself to do it, because your body don't have the energy and it can't do it. It's like someone paralyzed, trying to get up and walk, and they just can't walk because they're paralyzed. That's the same thing with losing your energy. So you won't be able to do the things that you can do or what you used to do. It stabilizes you. That's why in the earlier part of depression, if you can catch it and consult a doctor and get treatment early, you can prevent this from happening to you. Depression is a serious disease, and it's a disease that you don't want to play with because it can kill you. And in our society, a lot of people are suffering depression every year. Millions of people around the world are suffering it for many different reasons. If you want to know what depression is, consult your doctor or stop into a hospital. Ask them for literature. They'd be glad to give you literature of what depression is. If you see someone suffering that, share that literature with them. Help them understand what's going on with them and why you think they need to consult a doctor. On the other hand, let's talk about oppression. Where oppression comes from? Oppression is just like terrorism. Someone terroring you. Sometimes if you look around in people's country, they are terrored by the government because they don't have no freedom. Or the laws and the government is mistreating them. You can see it in different countries all around you. How people are constantly complaining about their governments and the laws in their governments, and how they are oppressed by these things. Anyone that causes another one terror, to fear for their life, for justice, for liberty, stopping them to grow in education, stopping them from obtaining a job, stopping them from living, stopping them from supporting their family, stopping them from freedom, stopping them from being happy in life, are called oppressors. See the difference between depression and oppression? Oppression, someone causes it individually, and it's usually identified what is causing the oppression. Now, people can have both depression and oppression. But one thing, when you have oppression, you're going to be treated as depression. Our medical doctors here treat oppression, but they get the same medication that a depression person get to help them with them symptoms.